Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream. Today is September the 13th. I'm going to do your spiritual principle a day in a meditation. Hope that you're doing well this morning. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation. This is our Hood Recovery Services. If you need to reach me, do so at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Let's get into the screen. Okay. Large reading today. September 13th, Serenity and Keeping It Real. We listen to one another with an open mind and an open heart, and we share our experience with the understanding that it won't necessarily be shared by everyone else. Taken from Living Clean, Chapter 3, A Spiritual Journey. Among the first things many of us notice about NA is how recovering addicts get very real with each other when sharing in meetings. Serenity is sometimes mistaken for weakness, especially among using addicts. Showing up to recovery meetings for the first time and seeing people willingly exposing vulnerabilities the way we can do the way we do can be both shocking and refreshing. I want to reread that. Serenity is sometimes mistaken for weakness, especially among using addicts. Showing up to recovery meetings for the first time and seeing people willingly exposing vulnerabilities the way we do can be both shocking and refreshing. We start to listen and to open up. Being present and showing up wholeheartedly would mean a 180-degree change from our old approach. We were accustomed to wearing masks, deflecting attention, or adapting to whatever was happening around us. Yeah, we played along. Not making any waves was key to our survival before we got clean. Early in recovery, we may find ourselves listening to others and then trying to match how they share. Not wanting to call attention to ourselves, we might string together slogans or pretend to be something we're not. One addict wrote, I would tailor my share to try to appeal to the listener. And the harder I tried to make people relate, the phonier I felt and sounded. When I just tell my own story my own way, people seem to connect so much more. Sometimes within us shifts as we do the work. Something within us shifts as we do the work for staying clean. We prioritize honesty and authenticity over ease, empathy over shallow connection, from the heart, serenity over fitting in. When we share, we allow ourselves and each other the dignity of our own understanding and experience. We each take on the responsibility of expressing what's going on with us. It's harder to talk the talk when we don't walk the walk. We share what we found, what we think, and where our uncertainties lie. The truer we are in what we share with others, the better the odds that they will be able to relate. As a recovering addict, Serenity makes it possible for me to connect with others wholeheartedly. I will keep it real today. Phew, that was a difficult reading. It was difficult to get through. A bit exhausted today, but still my energy, my spirit rather, is positive. And I like this meditation. Have no doubt. I like the meditation, Serenity and Keeping It Real. And it talks about our own experience of strength, right? Our own experience of hope, our own experience of who we are and how we became who we are. And the ability or the willingness to share this at a meeting with no expectations is the goal, right? To be able to share who we authentically are and not mimic the person that just shared before us. Is it necessary to say, I'm going to piggyback on what Mighty Stream said and go on to speak the way that I speak and inflect and deflect, the tone of your voice according to what you imagine, how I would be? No, that's not the goal. That's not the goal at all. That's not what we're trying to do here, right? We're trying to be ourselves, tell our story. When our turn comes to share, we want to authentically share where we're at. If where you happen to be is the same place that Mighty Stream just shared where she was at, now that's a heck of a coincidence. But if that's the case, then fine. Share how your experience on that similar experience, right? But in general, the day that you lived before you got to the meeting, whenever you got to the meeting, typically is quite different than the next person's. And that's what makes this sharing experience so unique. Some of us, when we first got to the meetings, we were surprised at how blunt people could be with their shares. And then we learned that they were just trying to save themselves by coming in and telling on themselves and being honest about what was going on. And then we began to see them change. They become better because the problems that they walked in the door with are decreased substantially just by sharing in an atmosphere of recovery with other people that get you, they understand you. To watch that type of transformation take place in a person, whether it be always sharing about having a desire to use, and then all of a sudden the desire is lifted. And you can tell the way that they share that they have reached a level of sanity and peace directly related to the 12 steps of this program. Living it. It's an honor to watch that transformation take place. But you can have the same transformation. Yeah, you can have the same transformation. Practice serenity and keeping it real. Keep your share on you, what you really are going through, and not always having to give someone feedback that was unsolicited. That's so annoying, right? To have someone come behind you constantly after you share, they're going to be within the next one or two people that share, because what you're going through is triggering them to communicate how they feel about that. And it's not a genuine share. It has absolutely, what I'm going through is not affecting your recovery. Share where you're at. Eventually, people grow up and they grow out of that cross sharing type manner, and they begin to keep it real and be honest about what they're going through. That's the end game, is to be able to stop using, lose the desire to use, and find a new way of living. And part of that new way of living is authentically being ourselves, exercising serenity and keeping it 100. That's really what we're shooting for. Because in that position of surrender of being surrendered to one's self-will is the perfect place for God, the God of your own understanding, to shower you with more love, with more capabilities and gifts. That place where you're authentic is the place where the God of your own understanding wants to meet you. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but basically, to make it real simple, a person having a problem with fabricating when they share, you tend to know when they're fabricating, right? They're embellishing their share. And you shut down. It's like shares like that are embellished and dishonest quickly, even though people appear to be paying attention. I don't know if this has happened to you or not, but when I feel that someone's share is embellished, I feel like I don't need to listen to that. I want to hear what's really going on with you. Now, if that's something really going on with you and it took place 20 years ago and you're still talking about it, I would suggest definitely share about it, but also do some footwork. Get to the point in your fourth step where it talks about relationships and start sharing. Share exactly where you're at, what you're going through. Don't get me wrong. That's what I want you to do. But incorporate the solution as best you can, because that's where the hope is. And I believe you can do it. Practice makes perfect. It's not always going to be convenient to share on that level. And you need to know when you should and when you shouldn't. Okay? I hope that this has been I hope that this has been a good podcast for you, that it encourages you to have an open mind and an open heart to share your experience with your understanding of your higher power, and understand that it's unique to you. And if you can have the right responsibility to share authentically, so does the next person, right? Be yourself. Don't be a carbon copy of anyone. Talk about the things that are affecting your recovery. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Just for spiritual principle a day. So amazing. I want to thank you for listening. It's 5 a.m. my time, and I have some studying to do before the boys wake up. And my day is already tremendous. My day is already beautiful. Exhausted, tired, full of pain. It doesn't matter. I am clean today. I am in recovery today. And I get an opportunity to wake up before my alarm goes off. It's set for 5 o'clock every day, and I'm up like clockwork now, at least an hour. Today was an hour and a half early, but I am enjoying prayer and meditation. This podcast feeds my soul. I'm going to have a marvelous day, and I know you will too. I know you will too. If you move forward in a spirit of surrender today to a God of your own understanding, you can do nothing but go up. Even when the storms come, you're going to be able to bend with the wind. I've enjoyed talking to you. And you know what? God willing, I am going to be talking to you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day on purpose. Talk to you later.